I'm now going to turn the program over to Sid Jackson, who is going to introduce our guest speaker.
Hello. If you want to know the importance of an independent judiciary and the rule of law to the healthy functioning of our government, you're in the right place. If you want to learn what our roles as lawyers and judges are in protecting the judicial branch and why we need to look at this very seriously now, you're in the right place. Our speaker, Chief Justice Sarah Stewart, is eminently qualified to speak on these topics. She grew up overseas where her father was an Exxon geologist. She was at the top of her class at Arkansas undergrad and Vanderbilt Law School. She practiced law here in Mobile for 14 years and has been a judge since 2006. She was a circuit court judge here in Mobile for 13 years, trying hundreds of civil and criminal cases and addressing thousands of matters. If you had the pleasure of appearing before Judge Stewart, raise your hand. Over half the room. After serving as an associate justice at the Alabama Supreme Court for 7 years, she was elected Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court and took office this year. She and her husband, Craig, reside in Mobile. They have 2 adult daughters, Charlene and Mariah, and she's a member of the Mobile Bar Association. Please welcome Alabama Supreme Court Justice, the Honorable Sarah Hicks Stewart.
I asked Weathers, do you really think I'm a guest speaker? Do I qualify for that? Thank you all very much for having me here today. It is always wonderful to come home. People have asked, why haven't you moved to Montgomery? You've been there 6 years and you've got another 6 years at least. I'm like, well, I don't want to leave Mobile. I love Mobile. I love my family here. I love my made-up family like Judge Hambright. I love all of y'all in this room. And it's great that I can be here and share my thoughts with you. Fundamental rights and freedoms are inalienable and shall be enjoyed by everyone since the day of birth. The rights and freedoms of man and citizen shall be directly operative. They determine the essence, meaning, and implementation of laws and shall be ensured by the administration of justice. All people shall be equal before the law and court. The state shall guarantee the equality of rights and freedoms of man and citizen, regardless of sex, race, nationality, language, religion, and other circumstances. All forms of limitations of human rights on social, racial, national, linguistic, or religious grounds shall be banned. Citizens have freedom of speech, publication, assembly, association, procession, and demonstration. These are all excerpts of rights listed in the constitutions of countries around the world. You want to know which countries? Russia, North Korea, China, Iran, Yemen. Some of the strongest constitutional language protecting the people's rights belong to the worst, most tyrannical countries. We know that these rights are hollow. So what is the difference between these countries and the United States of America? The difference is a fiercely independent judiciary and the rule of law. The independence of the judiciary is the cornerstone of a free and democratic society. When judges are free to apply the law without fear, favor, or intimidation, justice prevails. Impartial and courageous judging is not only the backbone of justice, but essential to preserving the public's trust in our courts and the rule of law that separates our democracy from tyranny. What I'd like to focus on today is the role that our profession has in this very fundamental concept. We all know, simply by virtue of being in this room, that to be the best lawyer and judge that we can be, we must work hard, not only through law school, but every day of our careers. No one in this room got here by passing the bar and resting on our laurels. Getting the law right and understanding justice demands the best from us. Simply put, being a lawyer or a judge the right way is hard. All of us in the legal field have been grappling with immense change over the past few years. The world is still feeling the aftershocks of the pandemic. Legal systems are adapting to new technologies. Political polarization is testing the bounds of civil discourse. And the independence of our judicial system and the rule of law are undoubtedly under great stress. By being here today, by being active in our profession and being invested in being a lawyer or a judge the right way, you have not chosen to look away from all of these challenges. You have chosen to lean in. That speaks volumes about your courage. So why am I focused today on being a lawyer or a judge the right way, working hard, and having courage? If you take anything away from my remarks today, I hope it will be this. We don't just interpret the law. Our profession shapes the world. And you need to ask yourself, what will your role be? The law is not just about rules and precedent and words. Fundamentally, at its core, the law is about people. Behind every statute, every precedent, every verdict is a human life. Someone seeking justice, someone looking for hope, someone needing to be heard. And now, more than ever, the world needs lawyers and judges who do not lead with ego, but with empathy. Lawyers and judges who know that the loudest voice in the room is not always the most just. Lawyers and judges who understand that justice is not a given, it is upheld, earned, and fought for. And that will require being a lawyer or a judge the right way, working hard, and having courage. As you sit here today, your greatest asset is not your ability to argue, but your ability to listen. Your power does not come from persuasion alone, but is grounded in principle. And your success is not measured solely by cases you win or the orders and opinions you issue. Your success is fully measured by your integrity that you maintain while no one is watching. The future of the law will be shaped by many forces: artificial intelligence, globalization, politics, evolving human rights. But its soul, the soul of the law, will be shaped by you. Because of this, you must be the advocates for the voiceless, the architects of fair policies, and the defenders of liberty when it's threatened. You must be the greatest critics of the legal system when it falls short, but you must also be the drivers and leaders of change and growth. I challenge you that when you walk out of these doors today, you do so with a sense of real purpose. Use your legal knowledge not to build walls, but to build bridges. Use your skill not to just win, but to mend. And use your voice not to echo, but to lead. I want to leave you with this last point as to why justice demands your courage, your integrity, your leadership, and your understanding that ultimately the law is about the people. I remarked to Judge Honeycutt that many of the things that he said in his opening invocation, a lot of the things that you heard today from the writers of the essay contest, all are going to echo what I'm about to tell you. Throughout the history of organized society, judges and the judicial branch of government have been charged with keeping the rule of law alive, applying it equally to rich and poor, to the strong and to the weak. To keep the rule of law alive, justice requires courage, fairness, and equality. The judicial branch in America, by design, is the weakest branch of government. We don't have the power to make the laws, like the legislature, and we certainly don't have any money. They've got the power of the purse. And we don't have any enforcement power, like the executive branch. They've got the DAs and the prisons and the police. They have the power of the sword and the shield. So what power does the judicial branch have? All that we have is the trust and the confidence and the belief of the people. People must believe that what happens in courtrooms, the results that are achieved there every day, are achieved fairly, justly, and under the rule of law, or they're not going to believe. And without that belief and that trust, justice will simply fail. So how you treat people that you represent, how you treat people on the other side of your case or the table, how you treat people in your courtroom, or the people really in all aspects of your life. How you treat them and what they observe about you, the soul and the face of the law, will absolutely determine whether they believe in justice and trust in the law. Everything we have and that we continue to work for depends on the people's trust, belief, and confidence. Do your part in earning, upholding, and fighting for the people's trust and justice. We are the future of justice. We are the critics, the menders, the listeners, and the fighters. We bear the weight of that responsibility for the entirety of our professional careers. I do hope that we never forget this responsibility, but more importantly, I hope that we never forget the privilege of being the guardians of the people's trust and justice. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be back home and share my thoughts with you.